the emergence of shared partnership of this region with Asia will allow us to be the masters of our own destiny. It is important that we continue this journey for the well-being of both UAE, India, wider Asia, and our people.
AIIB is an institution that has a couple of thematic priorities. One is interconnectivity within Asia, and the other one is mobilization of private capital. So those are two really important things to the institution, define our business and who we are.
The US and in Europe, and some interest from Asia typically, and it usually is about 15%. But this time around, the Asian interest was at 40%, so it was significantly higher.
And on top of that, I think that Middle Eastern countries can be a solution provider for this energy transition rather than the problem creator. The COP28 was a good success, and UAE consensus was a quite good one, I think.
This event is a quite important one to connect the Middle East with Asia. Middle Eastern countries are hoping to engage more with Asian countries, and I think we need to increase the perception of the opportunity here in the Middle East, in Asian countries. But also it is important to create a multi-flow transaction, both coming from the Middle East and the other one coming from the Asia.
About this trend of the UAE and the GCC more broadly playing such a crucial role in lifting people out of poverty in India and China through the energy support.
We do see a mix of actually of all points here in the sense of local initiatives from the government does help. The UAE Central Bank, they do have a 1 trillion dirham initiative by 2030, whereby banks such as ourselves, FAB and peers will have to mobilize finance by 2030.
This is a brilliant event showcasing the key synergies in between Asia and the Middle East in terms of knowledge, in terms of investor appetite, issuers, best practice policy making. So we had everything covered in here. So we're very much looking forward to connect for the next year to come and the host in the UAE.
Ability of borrowing in an ESG format, then obviously you will increase the pool of investors and liquidity that is available to you. So it is very smart from a diversification of funding perspective.
So thank you for this great event. It was very well organized here today in Abu Dhabi. Really enjoyed the panelists, the sessions, and thank you for sharing the awareness about how critical it is to know more about ESG governance and the need for a better collective future. Thank you.
When it comes to sustainable finance or ESG finance, and when we issue ESG labeled bonds, the scrutiny of investors goes much beyond the general alignment with SDG. We've seen the questions and questionnaires from investors.
So we're exporting and we're representing Abu Dhabi and the UAE everywhere we go. So I think to the extent we weren't ticking all the boxes, as it were, from a sustainability perspective, there would probably be big questions asked as to why we're not doing so, because no other company within certainly the UAE is as representative of sustainability.
Fantastic event. I was really pleased to be invited here to speak on a panel on sustainable finance. Really impressed by the asset team from Danny, the CEO, Daryl and Tim. Just really well organized. Also a big thanks to Nicola and Yvette, who were parts of the organization. It's great to have these sorts of events here in Abu Dhabi. You know, just again, really happy to be part of it and to talk a little bit about the Masdar story.
There's very much a demand coming from investors to see compliance and effort. Some investors actually place mandates around where they want their assets deployed.
It was a pleasure to participate. Very interesting panelists. I thought the
The global nature of the discussions, while focused on the region, was interesting, and I think it was a diverse group of people, so it made it particularly interesting and challenging for the audience to cover everything. So I thought it was very well done.
That's how we launched Optimum Green Ventures. We're tiny. We're a $100 million fund that launched 4.5 months ago in partnership with Abu Dhabi Securities and Investments. We sit here at ADGM. And we have a stellar advisory team from all over the world.
It's really good. I've been attending the Asset Magazine event since more than 10 years ago. I was working in Jakarta back then, 2009. And then I moved to Singapore. I've been attending every year. I was a fixed income sales also. And last month I just made my move to Middle East, to Dubai. And I'm really glad that you finally have an event also in Abu Dhabi and UAE. So it's really good to see the development, and I'm sure that the UAE and Asia corridor will be growing. So this is a good opportunity and event for the ecosystem player to meet and network.
It's a great opportunity to be in here. It's a great event, and we're really looking forward to have more opportunity and collaboration between the UAE and Asia. Thank you.
I thought today's event was excellent. It really was a manifestation of what we have been discussing together over the last few years about capital flows and the importance between the linkage of the Middle East and Asia. It's becoming a reality. We've had some excellent speakers today who outlined just how important this alliance is between people who have long-term ambitions to raise 1.5 billion people out of poverty, and at the same time doing this through ethical investment.
Yeah, it was a really good event. I thought the insight was really helpful, and it's great to connect with other industry professionals and learn more about the sector as well.